the first thing we got to do for that is warm up the shoulders. So circle your shoulders around and about. Such a big issue, this slumping business, because of our texting and our computering, and everything has us hanging over. Really circle the shoulders up, back, around, and down. So you feel that. And then let's reverse it. This is like something, this is like, oh, my shoulders are hurting me, I got to do this. Or, oh yeah, I'm just feeling kind of stiff in the upper body. It's just a great thing to do. Reverse the circles. I find it a little bit harder. So up, forward, down, and back. It's probably because I'm used to the other way. Notice for you if it feels a little bit harder to do. And then let's come back to seated. So one of the things that we want to take a look at is how do we sit and where are our sitting bones. So rock forward and back on your chair and feel your sitting bones. Because if we're leaning back on our sitting bones, then our head's going to come forward like this. And another thing is chairs make a big difference. So if your feet aren't touching the earth, then you want to come towards the edge of your seat. That's going to be helpful. If you have shorter legs, you can put blocks under your feet. That can make a difference. I don't have the shorter legs, so this is making my knees too high, so I'm not going to use it. But I just want to show you, you could use books. You don't have to use yoga blocks to do that. So rocking forward and back, just so you can feel where is forward on the sitting bones and where is back. And then find that middle point. So the middle point is where you're going to feel a little bit of, and this does get into core work too, right? So you're going to find this point right at the top of your pelvis. Take a breath in, and on your exhale, pull these 2 points in like you were going to zipper tight pants. So breathe in and then pull the belly in and up. That's going to help you lift tall. So it is all connected, even though it seems like it's coming just from the shoulders and the head area. Pull those 2 points together. And you can keep a toning in them quite a bit, but you need to be able to breathe. If you notice that breathing is tough, then take an inhale and then exhale, pull these 2 points in towards each other. And then take a soft breath in and a soft breath out and see if you can keep that toning. That's a little tougher. All right. We also want to get long through the side bodies for our slumping. So the side body is this area from here to here. From here, waistline, to underneath the armpits. So let's take our thumbs and place them underneath, like you're what is it, doing that birdie thing. So lift up, putting your thumbs underneath your arm domes there and feel that lift. We want it to come from here and here. So breathe in and breathe out, keeping that length. Let's go ahead, take your hands to the top of your shoulders and circle the elbows around and about, alternating one and then the other. Breathing in and breathing out. So almost like you're swimming. If we could do it like that, then we're swimming, right? So a few more with the elbows. And you can rock a little bit as you do it. And then let's swim one arm and then the other arm. And so lifting an arm, bending the elbow, maybe your gaze follows your arm. So just alternating sides. And you'll notice I'm rocking a little bit, and that's fine. We're bringing movement and fluidity into the body. Lift the arms up. Lift the elbow up. So really lift that elbow up. Up, 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 up. Then it comes down and around. And as you do that, notice if you're feeling a stretch on the sides of your body. So the stretch should be here. It should be there, like you're feeling some lengthening there. The elbow comes up and there's lengthening on the side of the body. The elbow comes up and there's lengthening on that side of the body. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. So now we're going to keep going with the sides of the body. Let's lift the right arm. You're going to go to your range of motion. It might be here. It might be here. We're lifting the arm up and the palm is facing towards us. Good. Then we're going to take, you can hold on to the side of the chair with your left hand. Let's bring our side bend into here. Pull the elbow back, lengthen it overhead. Pull it back and lengthen it over your ear. Pull elbow back and lengthen overhead. A few more times. Pulling and lengthening. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. And now let's hold it. So let's hold it for about 3 to 5 breaths. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breath is in. Breath is out. Notice how we're toning here. Those tight pants, right? Zipper pulls in, zips up, and the lower belly pulls in. Lengthen the arm over the ear. Let's open up the arm and circle it in front. Use your left hand to bring the arm in towards you. And this shoulder may lift like that. So see if you can lower it down as you pull the arm in. The arm may not go in all the way. That's okay. You're getting a stretch. Breath is in and breath is out. Let that go. Shake it out. Shake it out. Good. Let it all go. And then let's circle the wrist around. Get some movement in there. So our hands are very much aligned with our shoulders. If our shoulders are tight, you might even feel it along this side or this side, thumb side or pinky side. Circle the wrists around and then the other way. We're staying tall. Shoulders are up and back. Shake it out. Let it go. Let's do the other side. Left elbow's bent. Feel your shoulder blade on your back here. So when you lower the elbow, you feel the shoulder blade on the back. You still feel it about here. As you come up, that shoulder blade's coming off the back. That's okay. You might be holding on to the side of the chair with your right hand. We're side bending towards the right. Then pull the elbow back. You got it. Maybe each time you go a little bit longer, mind your body. Mind your range of motion. Elbow may or may not straighten. We're trying to keep the arm in line with the ear. So in other words, we don't want the arm here. If possible, try to keep it back overhead over the ear. And let's lengthen and hold this. Breathe in and breathe out. And breath is in and out. We've got our tight pants, we're zippering them up. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose, open up your arm wide, gaze at your fingers, and circle the arm forward, and now fingertips are towards the right. Right hand is holding left arm to bring it in. Take a breath in and a breath out to feel the stretch. Inhale, exhale. Now, shake it out, really shake it. Then take your thumb on the inside of the palm, wrap the fingers around and circle. Yep, circle it. Really feel that, really feel the range. You'll feel a stretch on the skin on the back of the hand and shake it out. A few cat-cows. This is very good for feeling the opposite of Slumpasana or slouching. So but it's different because we're doing cat pose. So we are purposely slouching. It's not really a slouch because slouch implies we're not using intention. It's just happening. But when we do cat pose, we are intending to round our spine. We are intending to spread the shoulder blade. We are intending to bring our chin down towards our chest. Now here's the cow pose. You can have your hands in your lap for this, or you can have your hands right behind your neck and do a little back bend here, but don't let the head drop, okay? So here's the head. In Slumpasana or slouching, the head's going forward. But in a back bend, the head is going back without dropping. So the heart is lifting upwards. And if you need to support your head, then use your hand behind your head. Let's go back to the cat pose, the intentional rounding, belly pulling in. Here's the intentional opening, lifting heart, all shoulder blades are coming together and sitting bones and your tailbone is going back. So we're making that opposite curve. Cat pose looks like a curve that's concave, and cow pose looks like convex. You don't have to remember which one. It's the opposite C's. Round the spine like the cat, lift up, round it the other way, lift the heart. Exhale, round, inhale, lift up. I'm going to turn this way and we're going to use our arms now with this. So it is helpful, by the way, to be at the edge of the chair, because when you're back here like this, it's really easy to just hang out with the back at the back of the chair. So if it's available to you, I encourage you to come a little bit forward. Now, we're going to inhale and we're going to take our arms back like the cow pose. So we're opening up, open up. And then exhale, round it. That's our intentional slump. Then we open it up the other way. Shoulder blades are coming together. It feels really good, doesn't it? Because it is the opposite of the slump. Exhale and round. I love this. I love this theme, by the way. Fingertips together. Open it up, open it up. Maybe this time curl your fingers into your palm and thumbs up. And then round it. And one more time, open it up, maybe curl fingers in. And then bring your hands back to your lap. Sitting tall, shoulders on the back. So let me just show this, because this is a tough one. You say, someone says, bring your shoulders on your back, and they go, that's too tight. That's too tight. There's going to be a bunch of pulling over here. And obviously this is the slump. So we want to be somewhere in between where the shoulder blades are coming onto the back and the head, the ears are over the shoulders. So we want to get that neutral point when we're doing our stretch, our neck stretch. So drop the right ear down towards the right shoulder. Shoulder staying neutral. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, head rises. Exhale, other way. We're taking left ear to left shoulder. Breathe in. Breathe out. You're probably feeling a little stretch. And then inhale, head rises back up. Now, let's take our hands to the back. I'm going to turn this way. It'll be easier for you to see. You're going to take your hands either to the base here of the chair or here. You can play. You can start down here and see how that feels. And then as we do the pose, you might move your arms up. So we're going to circle the shoulders up and back, lift the heart. This is the back bend. This is actually bridge pose in the chair. Sitting bones are back, hips are back, heart is up, shoulder blades are together, and then come back to neutral. Now, if you find it hard to breathe there, it's because it can be. Very often in back bends, we forget to breathe. if that happens and you feel lightheaded, please come back up, take a few breaths. When you feel like you're back to neutral, you can try it again. Let's do this other side now. I mean, not other side, but hands now maybe a little bit lifted or keep them where they were. Shoulders come up and back, heart lifting. You're gonna feel your rib cage is going a little forward. Heart is lifting, but you can pull it in a little bit as you, there's a little tone in the belly, it's not gonna feel as intense. And then come on out of it. So that's a really nice way to counter the Shlumpasana. By the way, one of my favorite stretches, I'm just gonna tell you, is when you're standing in a doorway, you could take your hands to the frame, the door frame, and then kind of push your hands in and use it as leverage. Some people stand like this, like they're in a warrior one and do that. And that's really nice too, but my hands are on the door frame. Just for reference, I can show that later with that door frame, but that's a really wide door frame. I'm happy to send you a picture of that if you'd like that. Let's do a twist, also really nice for countering Shlumpasana, and I'll show you why. Let's extend the right leg and then lift tall and take our arms up overhead and interlace our fingers. And if your hands aren't going up overhead, no worries, push them forward and then pull them in and maybe go up a little bit higher, and you just stop wherever your hands are. It's okay. Just gently stretching. And you're going to feel when you push the palms away, your shoulder blades are spreading back behind you. They're coming apart. Now, when we pull the elbows in, then the shoulder blades come back together. Let's take the right hand outside the left thigh, and then we're going to take our left hand and you can hold the back of the chair, kind of rest your forearm in the back of the chair, or put your hand down on the seat of the chair. Lift tall through those side bodies as you turn towards your left. Now notice how this left shoulder is opening up, and you might feel a stretch across your collarbone. I even like to push my elbow into the back of the chair a little bit to really get some leverage. You can bend your elbows out to the sides. Keep breathing in and up. Only go as far as your body tells you to. Head's turning last. We're not cranking neck. Take one or two more breaths. Then we'll come back to center. Hands at your hips. Grow tall. Lean forward so we get a little bit of a stretch in the back of that right leg. And make sure the knee's not locking, so a little micro bend in the knee. Shoulders stay on the back here. We're not rounding the back. We're no slouching. Shoulders are on the back. Now, if it feels comfortable for you, you can take your arms out to the side like they're wings, like you're a bird. And then little pulsing with your torso and maybe your arms. And as you pulse the back of your hands back, you feel your shoulder blades coming together, and you might feel your rhomboids engaging a little bit. Those rhomboids are super important to keep our shoulders on the back. Let's push down through the left foot and the right heel to rise on up. Take both legs forward, hands on the chair, and circle the ankles around and about one way and then the other way. Ooh, little snap, crackles, and poppers. And then we'll do the other side. So now left leg is straight, right knee is bent. Grow tall. Let's interlace our fingers and push the palms away. And then kind of swim the elbows up, one then the other. And just feel how as you do this, it lengthens your torso. You might push the arms up, you might not. Good, try to soften the shoulders down. I love what you're doing, I like that. Going side to side, that's really nice, really nice. knowing, there's no right or wrong with this stuff. We're loosening up the fascia. Only wrong is if you feel pain, please don't push into it. All right, and then now let's find our twist. So left hand outside right thigh, right hand to either the back of the chair, the seat of the chair. We grow tall first, then we find our twist. Now the right shoulder's moving back, the head follows. Breathe in and breathe out. And breath is in and breath is out. Now, if you can, push your elbow into the back of the chair or bend your elbow and angle it back. And this front elbow, the left one, it could bend out to the side too. It just helps you open up across your collarbones. Breathe in and breathe out. Another nice thing to do is give yourself a little bit of a massage. Use your finger pads and get underneath the collarbones because that's often tight. Because when we do this gets tight. This front of the body, when we're slouching like this stuff gets tight. So give it a massage. Use your finger pads and kind of circle them around and then go all the way. You're underneath and then go underneath and go out towards the outsides or towards your shoulder, the arms, and keep massaging underneath the collarbones. You might find some area that are tender, so be gentle on yourself. Be very gentle on yourself. Breathe in, breathe out as you do this. You can play with turning your head or tilting the head as you massage the opposite side and notice how that feels going from side to side with the neck. And then release, shake it out. That was a lot of work for the hands, wasn't it? It was a lot of work. All right, let's get a hip opener and then we'll do a little bit of standing work before we go to the mat. So lifting your right knee up, circle it around and about. Staying tall, no slouching. Bring the knee in, give it a hug. I love hugging. First of all, it's so fun to hug a body part, right? But as you hug your knee in towards you, it gives you some leverage to go up even taller. Make sure the shoulders are up and back. Breathe in and breathe out. And then you're going to find your version of the hip opener. So either your foot is down, it's up on a few blocks, or the ankle is over your thigh. So this could be your hip opener. A lot of people feel it right here, or bringing the ankle up. Once you find your version, sit tall again. Keep the shoulder blades on the back and then maybe come forward. Your body, the sensation is telling you how far to fold forward. Sitting bones are back, spine is forward, shoulder blades are on the back. Breathe in, breathe out. You can tighten your pants here. That zipper, pull that zipper in and up, and you're going to feel your muscles pull in your lower abs. Then we're going to push down through this foot. When you're ready, you can always stay a little longer if you're feeling a good opening. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. Really feel the opening. And then you're going to push down, rise up and release. And let's do the other side. So we got to circle. We're going to bring the knee in and circle it around and about. Left side or opposite side. We're pulling it in. We're letting it go out to the side, forward and around. And yes, the leg is heavy. So it's like you're lifting some weights. You can also use a yoga strap underneath your thigh to circle the thigh around and about. And then pull it on in so we get nice and long and tall. And then you're going to find your version of the hip opener. So it could be foot down on the earth. So your knee is bent like this. Or it could be up on these blocks like this. Or it could be up on the thigh. Not on the knee. That doesn't feel so good. Then we grow tall and flex this foot, by the way. That's gonna help protect your knee if you're up, if the foot is up here on your thigh. So we're coming forward, sitting bones are moving back as our spine moves forward. Now we're not slumping like that. We're drawing the shoulders up and back. Breathe in and breathe out. Feel sensation. You might gently press the thigh down with your left hand. Please, no pressure on the knee joint. Breathe in, breathe out, push down, rise up, extend the leg, and let it go. And let's move towards some standing poses. Let's move towards some standing poses. So let's start with our wall dog or our chair dog, wherever we usually start. So your hands are going to go onto the seat of the chair. Start with your feet parallel and maybe a little bit wider if that's best for your balance. And bend your knees and take your hands to the seat of the chair and then walk yourself back to our wall dog. Take your time. And then let's bend and straighten our knees a little bit, not all the way straight, just kind of bending. Sitting bones are moving back and straightening. Really feel, what's it like to have bent knees? What's it like to straighten the legs? Feel that in your back. Feel that in the back of your legs. You might feel this in your shoulders. If there's pain in your shoulders, bend your elbows and walk in a little bit closer. And then you might play with straightening the legs and holding for a few breaths. You're pushing down through your feet. So you're pushing down through the big toe mounds across the foot and center of the heel. Breathe in. Breathe out. And let's walk our feet back towards the chair and take a little break. Take a little break. Notice how your body's feeling now as we stand, and we did some warm-ups in the chair. I'd like to now play with the headstand arms. We're not doing headstand, but you're gonna interlace your fingers and your elbows are gonna be coming out from your shoulders. And if you have a wall, it's awesome to use the wall. So if you had a wall, you would do this and push your forearms into the wall and then walk your feet back. But we're using chairs, so I'm going to show it that way. But I'm just telling you, if you have a wall, try it sometime at home and see how that feels for you to have your elbows are about hip height, maybe slightly higher, depending upon how you're tight there. I'm happy to talk to you after about it. But all right, so forearms are down on the chair. And then we're going to walk ourselves back again. Push your, so look, elbows under shoulder or even slightly forward of it. And let's rock forward and back here. Breathe in and breathe out. Feel the weight. Come forward and back. And then walk your feet back. Bend your knees again. And find that this variation of our, it's really a variation of, it's called dolphin dog. Sitting bones are back, knees are bending, pushing forearms into the chair. And then you could lean forward here a little bit more like a plank, and your belly's going to engage. And then pull it back. And maybe lean forward. If this is not comfortable for you or doesn't feel right, come back onto your hands. Because not every pose is for everybody. We can always find a variation of a pose for everybody, though. And then come on up and notice how your body feels now. Let's do a warrior two pose. So for warrior two, we start in mountain pose, and you can have a chair in front of you or to the side of you for your balance, or both. a chair here and a chair here. You always just do what is safe for you. You could practice with a wall back behind you, very nice as well. We're going to take a wide stance, and push your feet down like you mean it. Push your heels down, push down through the big toe mounds, press your feet away from each other. Grow tall. From here, from the top of the hip crest to the bottom of the ribs, we're growing really tall. Then turn your right toes out, bend your knee over your ankle and your heel. You might adjust your back leg to go wider, or if this feels like it's too wide, make your adjustment. We don't want you to feel like you're off balance. We do want you to feel like you're activating your legs. Knee is over heel. Feel that strengthening in your legs. You're calling upon your muscles. Now we are open across our chest here. You might take your right arm forward. You might gaze at your fingertips. If you feel balanced, you might lift the back arm and your arms are in T. Breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. Push down through that front heel and foot, and you might feel your right buttocks activate. We're going to straighten the leg, take all 10 toes forward, bring your feet back in and give yourself a little break. If you're in a pose and you're feeling like she's keeping me too long in this pose, come out of it. Do not always follow the teacher. I'm the guide, more of a facilitator for your practice than telling you what you must do. You are the boss of your bodies. So a little bit of circling of the hips. And we'll go for the other side. Stepping our feet wide. Pushing our feet down. Try not to lock the knees. So a little bend is a good thing. It's a good thing. Then we're going to turn the left toes out. And we're going to bring the knee over the ankle and the heel. And this could be a version of slouching in warrior pose, right? Like coming too far forward. So you want to try to line up your shoulders over your hips. And you can have a little pulsing here coming up and down if that feels good to you, just to kind of ease into the pose. And so we're pressing down through the heel. That's going to activate our left glute. You might take one arm back. As you gaze forward, you might take both arms up. If you have a chair in front of you, by the way, you might have both hands on the chair. Warrior 2 doesn't mean that your arms go out to the side necessarily. So in your version of the pose, breathe in. Breathe out, soften the shoulders, soften the shoulders. That might mean turning your palms upright. That feels really good. You'll feel your shoulders move back and down. And we're going to push down through our foot, both feet, and come back to neutral. And notice how your body feels now. Now, let's play with we're gonna come into pyramid, which is also these are all great poses. We can use almost any pose to focus on something, which is why I love asking you what you want to focus on, because we can use a pose to focus on. I'm going to turn the chair actually this way so we can demonstrate the shoulder more. But this pose is either called pyramid or waterfall, depending upon who you ask. And if you come down further, then have your blocks with you. If you don't worry about it. So we're going to go back, facing the chair, feet parallel, and maybe a little wider, like you're going to stand on the railroad tracks. Then keep your right foot forward and take your left leg back. And then we're going to bend and straighten the front knee. Now, we're keeping the spine long here. We're not slumping like that. We're not like that with shoulders forward. We're spine long, which why You may want to turn the chair if it feels like you don't have something to touch down onto. Then we're going to start to pull that front leg straight, or not necessarily all the way, and the arms can go forward on the chair as you pull that right hip back. Right hip is back, and you're going to feel maybe like your left hip is moving forward. This is pyramid pose or waterfall. Now, if you have a lot of movement, let me show you what it looks like with the blocks, just in case you do. You can have the blocks instead of the chair, they're a little bit lower. You can also turn them down or move them back. And notice how the spine is long, the shoulder blades are on the back. Breathe in and breathe out. And we're going to bend our knee, front knee, and transfer the weight to the front leg and bring that left foot to come on back in and stand on up. That was waterfall or pyramid on the right side. We'll do the other side now. Some of you are really mobile and you may not be using blocks or the chair, but honestly, what we really want to focus on is hinging from the hip, a nice long spine. So I would use it. I would use the chair or the blocks. We're back on our railroad track. We're going to step the right leg back and maybe start with bending and straightening that front knee. And then eventually you're going to pull that hip back. When you pull the front hip back, the other hip is going to feel like it's moving forward, like you're squaring off your hips. Then you decide where you're going to put your hands on the chair. You're lengthening through your spine, and your sitting bones, you can always bend your knees, are moving back. They're moving back. And so you're getting a nice stretch. You can also feel like you're veering your hips a little bit towards the right. You want those hips to be squaring back. Breathe in and breathe out. And breath is in and breath is out. And then we're going to bend the front knee. Bend the front knee, transfer your weight, and step the back foot to meet the front. And come on up. So let's play with goddess pose in a side bend. All right, so we stand facing our chair. We're going to take our feet wide. Those of you who like to ride horses, this is horsey pose. So now we're going to turn our heels in and our toes out, and the knees are going over the ankles and the heels. Only go as wide as you feel comfortable. Your inner thighs might be tight. Let's straighten because it's a long time to hold. We're going to exhale and lower down. Take an inhale. On your exhale, really push down through your feet and pull your heels towards each other, and you might feel your buttocks engaging. You might take one arm up into cactus or both. You might take one or both. So now shoulder blades are on the back. And then we might tip. You can have your hand on the chair. We might tip towards the right. This hand could even come down to the thigh. Arm comes down to the thigh. Come back up. Straighten the leg. It's a lot of work for your legs. We're strengthening the legs. Bend your knees. Maybe take the left forearm to the thigh, or just put your hand down there. Give it a little pressure. Make sure that shoulder's up and back though. And then maybe you lift the other arm, or your hand is on the chair. There's always options. We're taking a little side bend. And come on up. Let's straighten the legs. That's a long time, right? Like, where are you feeling this? Probably your thighs. If you're not, let me know. If you're not, you might be able to go a little bit deeper. Maybe, right? Because only you're the judge. We'll go down one more time. And maybe one or both arms or neither are coming up. Sitting bones are back and down. Heels and feet are pushing down. Breathe in, breathe out. That's right. If you want to do a side bend, you can bring your forearm to your thigh and your arm over your ear, if that's accessible to you. If not, do one of the other versions that we just did. So you could have a hand on the chair or forearm on the thigh as you do that side bend. Oof, it's a lot of work. All right, straighten your legs, bring your feet back together, shake out your legs a little bit, and we'll go down to the earth. So to come on down, you want to have either a blanket, something to cushion your knee. If you have tender knees, please take care of them. And we'll come on down. So we're holding on to the chair, one knee and then the other. Okay, once you get down there, let's go down onto, we'll start in table pose, then we'll go on to our bellies. I'm getting ahead of myself. So I'm going to put this so you don't have to stare at it out of the way. Feng shui, right? Like, so now I want to talk about one thing. When we go on the belly, you might want a blanket. So bring that by too. Bring it by so you've got it. Have all your props ready. They're ready for you. And then we'll come on down. I'm coming down. You guys are already down, probably. And then knees are under hips. Hands are just forward of shoulders. Let's do a few cat-cows. Now your feet can be curled under, or the tops of the feet can be down. The feet are going straight out from the knees. We're going to round the spine one way and then curve it the other way. So this is the one that's helping our shoulder blades come on the back. It's the cow pose. Thank you, cow. Exhale, round. And then round it the other way. Breathe in. And breathe out. Now, I really like opening up the shoulders by we're going to take the left hand a little bit to center and then take the right arm out to the side or at your hip. Roll the shoulder up and back and then maybe lift the arm. You don't have to. This is opening up the shoulder right here. We're also getting weight bearing through this bottom arm. Make sure that elbow is not bending and that the bottom shoulder is turning away. That keeps the shoulder blade on the back. So this is opening the shoulder. Notice how that's curling back. You may lift the arm. Breathing in and breathing out. Beautiful. For those of you I can see, you're beautiful even if I can't see you. Bring the arm back down and we'll do the other side. I'm just going to turn so you can see. Because I got a wall in my way. Plus you couldn't see anyway. So knees are under hips, palms are forward, shoulder blades are on the back. So here's shoulder blades off the back. Here's that cow pose, and here's about middle, shoulder blades on the back. Then I'm going to move the right hand a little bit to center and then open up by taking the hand to the hip. Roll that left shoulder onto your back. Maybe lift the arm. Breathe in. Breathe out. Feel this opening. The standing arm. This other arm. The right arm is the elbows bending. Breathe in. Breathe out. Release it down. And let's come on to our forearms. This helps to strengthen our shoulders in a different way. Now with your forearms down and your elbows down, and this was kind of like what we did on the chair, you could interlace your fingers. We're going to rock forward and back, and you can walk your knees back, and this is going to help bring in your core. Some of you might lift up your knees. So if that's you, great. If not, don't worry about it. We're going forward and back, trying to bring our chin towards our thumbs. So as we rock forward, belly's engaging, we're zippering those tight pants. Then move the hips back. Come on forwards and back. And then we're going to come down onto our bellies. Now, if you tend to get lower back pain, I would put a blanket under, right about here, under your rib cage and your pelvis. It can help if you have real back pain, this may not be the pose for you, but if you want to try an adaptation, put the blanket down. And you could have 2 blankets, by the way. And so just what it does is it lessens that lower back curve, and we'll come into Sphinx pose. So elbows are under shoulders, and then push down through your forearms. Roll the sides of your arm bones back, and you are in Sphinx. Now, where should the head be so we don't slump? Well, if the head's down like this is the slump or slouch. We want the neck to be long, so you're going to take your chins back, your heart forward. Tone your hips. Push down through the tops of your feet. Breathe in. And breathe out. And then let's take a little break. So stack your hands. Rest your forehead down. Maybe let your hips sway side to side. It's a nice little back release. Breathe in and breathe out. And then we're going to go to a version of Cobra. So hands by your heart. Roll shoulders up and back. Push down through palms. Heart's lifting. Shoulder blades are on the back. Breathe in and breathe out. Tone your hips. And we're going to exhale and slowly lower down. And inhale and roll up and shoulders back. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. Lower down. As you come on up, roll the shoulders up and back. Back of the neck stays long. So if the head's forward like this, that's slouching in this pose. The chin comes back and you can gaze forward. So if you gaze forward towards the front of your mat, that can be very helpful as well. And then exhale and lower down. And this time you might take your head to one side and your arms down by your side. And that would be great too. You want to do what's comfortable for your neck. So if that's not comfortable, then find a version that is for you. And then one more, we call this it's called Shalabhasana in Sanskrit, or locust pose. So we're going to roll the shoulders up and back. Press the palms towards each other. So the palms are facing each other as the heart lifts. Head's not down, it is upwards, gazing forward, shoulders up and back. And you might even pulse your palms a little bit. Some of you might take a yoga strap here and hold it as you lift up. That's kind of nice too. And we'll exhale and lower down. We're going to use our palms, curl our toes under to come on up, pull back to a child pose. Your version. Now you might want the blanket under your knees or under your feet if you tend to cramp. So that would look something like this. And so you can have your knees wide. You can have them a little closer together and then relax down. Now you can relax your head on your folded forearms, or you might walk your arms forward. Depends on your shoulders. Take several breaths here. This is where you might relax a little bit. As you lengthen your sitting bones down, you might feel a stretch in the lower back. Breathing in and breathing out. Breath is in and breath is out. And then we'll come on up. We're going to go down onto our backs for bridge pose. Let's put the blanket to the side. Back bends are wonderful for helping the slouching. So always think about them. And you might have a block that you put underneath your buttocks if you're resting in this pose. So I will show you what I mean. So at this point, maybe you're tired. And that might be a time to do more restorative yoga rather than active yoga. So I'm going to show you the active bridge and the more restorative bridge. So if you're feeling tired, your feet are still parallel outside your hips. Your shoulders are coming back towards your ears. You push down through your feet, you lift your hips, and maybe you put a block underneath your hips. This is nice. I could just stay here for a while. You want the back of your head to be down on the earth, and you want a little curve under your neck. Now, if you'd like to do some more active bridging, let's do it. So let's come back to our bridge prep, and then we're going to push down through our feet and lift our hips. And you don't have to lift your hips up high. It's more about opening up the heart. It depends what your focus is, but you could take your arms down by your side and kind of come into robot pose or karate chop the yoga mat with your pinky side of your hands. And then we might exhale and slowly lower buttocks down first. Breathe in and breathe out. We're going to come back up. So push down through feet, lift the buttocks up, walk the shoulders underneath us, maybe interlace fingers and push forearms down. That's an option. You could be in the robot. Push down through your heels. You're going to feel your buttocks tone. And then maybe you lift the foot except for the heels. So you're pushing your heels down, the rest of the foot is up. That'll really tone the buttocks. And then exhale, and let's lower that down. We'll go up one more time and maybe do heel rises. So we're going to come up and maybe lift one heel, lower it down, other heel, lower it down, alternating side to side, and then both heels might rise up. If you're feeling any neck pain or any pain at all in your back, please come down. And let's exhale, release the hips down. And notice how your body feels now. From here, let's do our leg stretch, because you know I love the leg stretch, and I think it's so important. So where'd my strap go? You can use a strap or your hands behind your leg. And we'll put that strap around our foot. And then push the footprint up towards the sky. Leg may or may not straighten all the way. Big toe mound is pushing away. Shoulders are relaxed down. So if you're tensing your shoulders, please stop, and relax the shoulders. Just use your hands to hold the tie. And the tie's not going to move. You don't need to stress out the shoulders to stretch your leg. If you're not feeling anything here, then you can straighten the bottom leg. If you are, stay right where you're at. You can still tighten the lower abs a little bit with the zippering up your tight pants, your tight jeans. And then release it, and let's do the other side. If you have the time, I encourage you to stay a little longer. I just want to make sure that we end close to on time, right? Bending knee, pushing footprint up towards the sky, shoulders relaxed down. And you might pulse your foot upwards, bending the knee, and then pressing footprint up towards sky. Breathing in and breathing out. And then at some point you're staying in this. This is more of a static, but it might not feel so static. You might feel a little bit of shaking as you stretch. You want to decipher how much is a good stretch and how much is too much of a stretch and not so good. You want to find that spot where it's just right for you. Maybe straightening bottom leg only if you want more of a stretch. And if you're already not feeling a stretch here. If you're already feeling a stretch here, you do not need to straighten that bottom leg. So staying here for several breaths. You can feel the nice soft breath in and out. And then we'll release and come into our final lying down pose before we rest. And I'm going to show you, just remind you about how there's different ways to open up your shoulders when you're resting. So since it was raining, we'll do windshield wipers. So feet come wide apart, and then you're going to let one knee come down the center, and your arms are in cactus, by the way, so the elbows are bent. And then come on, knee comes up, and then let the other knee come down. And so you can go a little bit slower with this, or you can keep it to like a breath of movement, but eventually feel that stretch. And you might lengthen the opposite, the arm where the knee is coming downward. You can straighten that arm back behind you. It's a wonderful stretch for the side body. And then the other side, stretch, stretch, stretch. It's a really, 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 really nice stretch. And then come back up and bring your knees in and circle them around, roll right and left on your spine, give yourself a massage. So the final resting pose, you're either in, this is traditional Shavasana. Arms are up. You're relaxing down. Now, most of us, a lot of us, like a bolster under our knees, which helps our lower back. So if that's you, you should place one there. Another option to help with the slouching is to place a rolled yoga mat or blanket under your spine. And I'm going to show this blanket since it's here. And so it's the long way, and you can fold it into quarters or thirds, or all the way, roll it like that. Then it's going to depend on your spine and your back, and then you can relax on this. So your spine is going to lengthen onto this, and then you're going to make a little pillow with the end of the blanket. And so you'd be resting like this. And this is really, 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 really good to allow your shoulders to open up. Your knees can be bent and together, or you can lengthen your legs. I'm happy to show you any variations afterwards, but this is a great place for you to relax as we close our practice. So pick a variation for you that's good for you. And make sure that you feel comfortable, because the main purpose of the pose is for you to relax after you've been moving so much. So here's what that bolster looks like in case you would like a visual of it. And this is where you release your breath and soften. Make sure you feel your shoulder blades on the earth, no matter what version you're choosing. And soften, maybe eyes closed. And so you can now feel the inner sensation in your body of all the opening and lengthening and stretching and strengthening and twisting and forward folding and bending. You can feel all that in your body. And at the same time, you're soaking in all these sensations. They're absorbing in. And all your work is absorbing into every cell in your body. And so you might have a moment of gratitude for the gifts of your mind, your body, and your breath as you relax. And so you can relax as long as you want. That's why it's at the end of class. I highly encourage you to relax and allow the whole body to let go from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. And from the bottom of your feet to the top of your head. And from your shoulders to your fingertips. Allowing everything to relax. Toes, feet, legs, hips, spine, torso, shoulders, neck, head, arms, whole body relax. As you breathe in and out. So stay as long as you want in your resting pose. I will roll to the side to come up, but I really encourage you to rest. Using my hands to come up from the side, fetal position. Bring our hands in front of our heart as we bow in with much gratitude for you joining me on this Friday morning for yoga with the Michigan Parkinson Foundation. Namaste, everybody. Have a wonderful week.